For most parents, limits are usually set with one of these three words: no, don't, or stop. Did you know you can set limits without saying no? Keep watching and I'll teach you how. Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kim Feeney with Butterfly Beginnings Counseling. I'm a licensed independent social worker and a registered play therapist supervisor. I have over 10 years of experience helping children and families to lead healthier emotional lives. If this is something you're interested in for your family, subscribe and hit the bell for weekly notifications on the latest content. Now, when it comes to setting limits, I am not advocating for permissive parenting where children get everything they want at the moment that they want it. What I'm talking about is an illusion of them getting everything they want, or at least having the ability to feel some sense of control in their life when they are younger. One of the most common concerns that parents and caregivers bring up to me in our first sessions is how do they manage their child's misbehavior? Some children act out more than others, but it's always stressful for both the adult and the child when this behavior occurs. I stress and communicate the importance to parents that they address the child's behavior in a way that he or she can understand. Children's brains are different from adults, and we need to be able to communicate limits and consequences in a child-appropriate manner. The setting limit strategy I teach involves 3 simple but very actionable steps. 1, acknowledge the feeling. 2, communicate the limit. And 3, target alternatives. Or ACT. All 3 steps are important, but as parents, we usually jump ahead and start right with setting the limit. No, you cannot have my drink. Do you see how this sets up a power struggle as well as a disappointed child? Comment below with yes if you've found yourself in these kinds of power struggles with your kids before. When this happens, automatically the child is angry with you as the parent because you won't give me what I need or want. By starting with reflecting feelings, you automatically connect with the need of the child and soften the blow of the limit. So we'll get into step A, acknowledge the feeling. Letting a child know that you know how they are feeling helps them to feel heard, understood, and validated. Acknowledging emotions can also help an upset child to address their feelings and can help them calm down faster. By acknowledging the child's feelings, you support your child's emotions, even if you can't support their behavior. Reflecting feelings and intentions helps children learn feeling vocabulary as well. During this step, actively listen to what your child has to say. Withhold any sort of judgment. Provide validation through mirroring, repeating what they've said in your own words just to make sure that you understand, and give appropriate support to show that you value them as a person with their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. When you skip this step and jump right to the limit, you run the risk of your child feeling unheard. So you want to validate first. When a person feels validated, they are much more likely to listen to what you have to say in return. This is essential when you're trying to communicate a limit. So in our previous example about the drink, you may start by saying, you are feeling thirsty. If you're looking for more ways to support your child through big emotions, grab my free guide, 6 Ways Parents Help Kids Cope with Big Emotions, with the link below in the description. Moving on to the C in our ACT model, C is communicate the limit. It is all right for the child to have feelings, as we discussed previously, but it's not appropriate for them to behave destructively or inappropriately. So after validating their emotions, you want to let them know that what they're doing is not okay. Be sure to word the limit so that if you're saying no to the behavior and not the child or the feelings themselves. It's important to use statements that make sense and do not emphasize blame or fault in any sort of way. When you do remind the child of the limits and consequences, be mindful of your tone, nonverbal body language, remain calm, and keep statements objective. Because if you dig your heels in and start to yell, then they're going to yell louder, and it's just going to end up back in that power struggle that we don't want. And if your verbal and nonverbal messages don't line up, you're sending mixed and confusing signals to the child. And then they'll likely respond to the negative messages they're getting because they're only human. So again, back to our example, you could say something to the effect of, this is my drink and it's not for sharing. Finally, T, target acceptable alternatives. Simply telling a child no can lead them to feeling very frustrated. They're trying to deal with their emotions and their needs and to learn how to handle them safely. So what we want to do is offer other ways that they can express themselves that are still acceptable to you as a parent. One of my favorite phrases to use in the playroom is just show me another way. I use this when play becomes too aggressive or a limit needs to be set. It is also important that the child feels they have the ability to make their own choice, which helps them learn responsibility and problem-solving skills. You want to offer one choice for younger children, like ages 2 to 3, and then increase the choices as children get older. Offer 2 to 3 choices for older children or 3 to 4 for teenagers. Over time, children start to memorize the options available to them, and then you have to do less limit setting during the day. The ACT method also grows with your child. It works for 2-year-olds as well as 16-year-olds. So once you have identified your child's feelings or intent, you'll be able to identify a healthy alternative. To direct your child's attention away from the original object by looking, pointing, and stating a new alternative. Be creative in offering choices, but make sure that you're comfortable with the choices and how the child can proceed. State alternative ways of handling situations that still result in your child getting the need met that they had previously identified. Consider creative solutions or compromises even when appropriate. Brainstorm possible solutions for future situations so that your child has some ideas next time for handling similar situations. And this helps your child to see that you are approachable when they do need support. And remember, it's important to not offer a choice that you cannot deliver. So to complete our example, you might say, you may have a glass of water or milk of your own. If the child does persist in the inappropriate behavior, stay firm and consistent with your limits and boundaries. You can first repeat what you initially said. Some choose to repeat this more than once, with a bit of space in between the information. If there's still no movement toward the desired result, you can then make the choice for the child to follow up with a natural consequence. Another example might be when a child throws a toy. You could say, you are frustrated that the toy is not working the way you want it to. But toys are not for throwing. You can ask for help or play with a different toy. An example for an older child might be when they want to go out on a school night. You were disappointed you cannot go out tonight. School nights are for homework and family time. You can go out on Friday night or have friends over here on Saturday. This type of limit setting can take some getting used to. Practice the 3 parts, and soon it will become natural for you to respond to your child with the ACT method. Part of making it effective, though, is really listening to your child and reflecting what they're feeling. Respectfully let them know the boundary and then follow up with what they are allowed to do. This system works because children like what they can do. If they know that something is always allowed, they become more likely to just choose that thing in the first place. Over time, this makes your job as a parent or caregiver a lot easier. This method is positive and helps children to develop self-discipline, to be able to regulate their own emotions and behaviors, and that's ultimately what we want for our children. In addition, we want them to be capable of setting healthy boundaries for themselves and others. For those who use it consistently, that is what I feel this kind of limit setting can do. It's simple and effective. It's respectful of children and gives the parents the needed skills to set healthy limits with their children. By using the ACT model, you ensure that your child feels heard, that limits are more likely to be maintained, and that peace returns to your household. Don't forget to grab 6 ways parents can help kids cope with big emotions using the link below in the description. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with a friend. On the screen are some other videos you may also enjoy. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are in your day, hug your child and make it a great one.